So there's a strange time to be bringing cows in to be milked, isn't it? So no, the parlour wasn't broke down this morning, and no, I didn't sleep in. We are on once a day now on a Sunday. It's the first morning of it now, so they're a little bit uneasy. Cows are fierce routine creatures, break the routine, and they don't be too sure what's going on, but they'll get used to the new one fairly quick. So what are we doing routine wise? It is milk. Saturday evening cups on at 4 p.m. Sunday morning cups on at 11 a.m, which is now, and Monday morning cups on at 6 a.m. So you have to be kind of strict on your times. It's given 2 gaps of 19 hours between milkings. So once you keep it less than 24, there shouldn't be an issue, especially at the very back end of lactation. Like I said, we're only 3 weeks away from drying off the first of the heifer, so yield is naturally coming down now. So they're a bit uneasy this morning. By next Sunday there'll be no issue, and I'd imagine, I'll keep everyone updated during the week, but I imagine there won't be any change to SCC or percentages or yield because of it. It's only 1 milking less in the week, so it's 13 milkings this week rather than 14. Gives you a chance to get a lie in on Sunday morning, and if you don't want to come back Sunday evening, then you don't have to come back Sunday evening either. So just be a long old year by the time we get to this stage, so it's good for everybody. And just quickly there, for anybody wondering how full are they this morning by being 4 hours later, I'll show you now. Definitely fuller than they are in the mornings this time of the year, although they are milking well in the mornings anyway, but definitely fuller because you've lots of cows leaking milk, but no fuller than they would be peak milk time around middle of May. Definitely no fuller than that, definitely probably not as full as that, so they're not under any pressure. We put out 125 tonne of lime here last week. Unfortunately we haven't had any rain since, which is annoying, because some of them went out on covers that were a little bit higher than you'd want, and the lime hasn't really moved off of the plant. Now it has settled in the soil because we've had lots of dew at night time, but I could do a shower of rain before I'd normally let cows out to eat it, but they've run out grass where they were, and the yard is not ready for them to eat silage in it. So I've just let them on here now to a paddock, and I'll give you a look. They don't seem to care a whole lot, do they? I presume palatability would be the issue, because I'll just pick a leaf here and I'll show it to you. It's not a great example of it, I see now. See the white dust on it? Now it falls off when you tap it, so but it's not stopping them from eating it at all. So I know it's just limestone, like it'd be like giving them calcium before or after calving. I remember in New Zealand for fresh calvers we used to dust the paddocks with ground limestone like this. It'd be white before you let the cows out on it to eat it for a few days after calving, and they never had any problem eating it. So look, it's not going to do them any harm. Just let me know in the comments there if anyone would graze cows on a field that had a coating of lime on it like that. So yeah, just let me know what you've done in the past. So they'll be this afternoon now. They're on once a day up here as well. This is the second herd. They're on once a day up here as well today. So it's 3 o'clock now. They're gone in here. So yeah, they'll be on this field tonight. And I'll come up in the morning and just see how they got on grazing. If they clean it out, then there's a few fields with heavy covers with a dust and a lime, not heavy covers, but covers like this with a dust and a lime on them. And if they eat this and there's no issues with them, then it's great because it'll allow us to get them all ate. The good news is there's no rain in the forecast. Not good for getting this stuff washed off, but good news for keeping cows out. So we'll go take a look at the yard next. Actually, there'll be a clip will go in here now first of what we're doing with the yard. And then we'll go in and talk about the plan with the yard and what has been done so far for this upcoming winter. So the first part of the upgrade for this yard starts in the roof, as you saw there. So up until now, so there's the main entrance into the dairy is out to that door, and that's where you park the car and I'll come in there first. And everything that you want for switching on is on the walls here. But the lights for the parlour was in here, but the lights for the sheds was out there, out in the cubicle house. So you had to walk out there in the dark, turn the lights on. Anyway, a lot of lights weren't working also in the shed. That was the main problem. They were all fluorescents and all floodlights that just weren't working, hadn't been working since we came here. So this is the first upgrade. You have 3 passageways on 3 light switches. So as you come through the door, you turn on all the lights, and as you're leaving, you turn off all the lights, and then there's no lights left on or anything like that. So it was a mixture. Front of the parlour got one of these big LED floodlight things, and the back of the parlour got another one. The parlour already had LED fluorescents in it, but the front of the back where the cows were entering and leaving was a bit dark. So those have been fitted there. Totally different parlour to be in now. And I'll just flick on these lights here. Replaced fluorescents in this span of cubicles with LED fluorescents, then took out the fluorescents in the next row and replaced it with just the floodlights, and the new row of cubicles that went in last year in the far shed had no lights in each shed at all, so we just put LED floodlights in there as well. So we'll turn them all on now, we'll give a look. Now it doesn't really pick it up on the camera, but instantly there's a difference in here, and it's full daylight now at the minute. They are really super light, never saw them before, but there's some light out for the size of them. So we go in here. Just 2 in this shed. See how white the floor is. And one at the back. 2 LEDs there, fluorescents. 1 spotlight up there. And look at that, how bright that is. Again, just 2 in that shed as well. But really going to be no shortage of light in this. Going to make some difference for the winter. The next problem then last year was this row of cubicles behind me here had no automatic scraper in it. So there was 2 rows of cubicles with automatic scrapers originally here. Scrapers weren't working very well either. They needed a bit of money spent on timers and stuff weren't working. So you turn them on in the morning first thing and turn them on in the evening before you go home. But in the morning then there'd be a wave of cow dung. You'd spend ages trying to scrape it out. Nightmare. And then we were scraping out the new passageway over here by hand. So just not sustainable for us or people working here or anything. Oh, the lads in KD and Dairy Services supplied and fitted a new dairy power scraper for this side. So brand new rail and scraper blade. And then it has the new type of ram box, which is down the ground. The ones on the other farm have this huge big box here with a big ram in it that's a bit awkward and cows can get lame stepping on it. So this is lovely. When this comes back to the last, it's just a scraper sitting here. New type blade as well. But the saving that's going to be on everyone here, not having to scrape this by hand now, because it's 3 spans, like 4 spans pretty much when you go the whole way to the bottom. We did just want to put this blade and ram box in here and tie into the original scraper box, which was an Alfco one that has been here for a long time. But the lads looked at it and basically they wouldn't know where to start even when I come to wiring into it. And to be fair, the timing switches and yokes really weren't working in the other Alfco one. So we'll look at what they did instead here. So they fitted a brand new Dairy Power box, a new type box, 3 passageway one. And so they got rid of the Alfco one that was there and plugged in the Alfco scrapers, the original Alfco scrapers, into the new box. All they had to do was change the stop switches from Alfco stop switches to Dairy Power ones, and they're working perfectly now. They replaced the springs and the little tongue thing that catches the track as well in them, so they've all new springs and tongues in those blades. But they were able to keep the Alfco power pack and oil tank, so they minimised the cost. Now, it was still a ball of money. So it was over $6,000 for that one passageway and just a scraper box and fit it, which is crazy now. But it wouldn't have cost a whole lot more, like to put 2 more passages on that, because the box is expensive. So anyway, look, it's seen and done. The next issue we had was holes in the floor up here. There was lots of concrete patching to be done. So there was holes in the scraper passageways here. Where cows were getting their feet in it, here and here, big crack in the ground there. There was a hole in front of the water truck where the cows were standing. It's been patched. There was a huge hole here and a crack and holes there everywhere you see, really, anywhere there's new concrete gone down. That's effluent flowing out of the silage pit. So we just didn't have time to get what we wanted to do with that done before the pit went in this year. What needs to happen is, when the pit, you'll remember in the videos before, the pit used to come out to here. So that wall was cut and put back so that we can come in and out and feed here now this winter. But when the pit is empty this year, we need to cut a track in the concrete, jackhammer it out and put a channel in it so that it'll catch the effluent from the silage pit and divert it over to there, and it'll end up going to the channel here that ends up in the slurry tank. So, but it wasn't done, so look, the effluent is flowing out here. Now that will stop flowing in another little while, once it all flows over and once we start feeding it. So yeah, that'll have to be done for next year, so that's why that's running in here, but it'll be the last year that happening. Ross was on the mixer here on 35 for a good few days, and he mixed up all that concrete and wheelbarrowed it all in and fixed all those holes and cracks. Super job. He did a great job on it. It's exactly what we wanted. So then we're on to what you saw in the clip at the start there, is what myself and Paul were doing here. Dan came, jackhammered out the holes and dug them out with his digger, and we're putting up those pillars. So we have a pipe here, the same as the pipe that was already there beside it. At the back then there's two 8-inch H-irons, so we can hang gates out of them if we want, better than a 6-inch stronger. They're down a long way in the ground and they're fixed in concrete, so they're not going to go anywhere. The plan is basically the feeder that you see there, we have another one that'll span that gap. That one will be fitted to that pillar there properly, and we have another one to span this gap. And then we'll put a heavy duty gate, not an ordinary heavy field gate now, a heavy duty gate there on the back of that. So there'll be a good bit of pushing from cows when they're getting feed here. So the feed passage then will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spans in total. 8 spans in total. So yeah, you'll feed probably 75 small crossbred cows. There's some of the gates are wide, like they're very wide spans, so yeah, you feed 75 crossbred cows there easily in that. So there's the same amount of housing here then as there is feed space. So same amount of cubicles as there is room for cows to eat, which is the ideal setup really. But it's going to be a fine job. You'll be able to just drive down on this side and you'll have 6 spans fed out. And when we go over here, you'll be able to drive in here and you'll have 2 spans fed out here. And I think we will strip the pay on this side. We emptied it from the front last year. I think we'll strip the back this year and we'll start getting grabs in here on an angle until we can get it straightened up. It'll just make room here for feeding this out. So that's the differences that will be made to this yard this winter. It'll be a totally different yard. Lights, scrapers, extra feed space. Now, even if I wasn't making videos for YouTube, there's something that I'd have to get a video clip up anyway, because it could be something that I'll never see ever again. But rather than putting the cows in at night time, they're outside on a bare paddock with bales of silage in 3 round feeders on the 30th of October. I'd actually have to get out and have a look at this, because this is unprecedented. Look at this. Oh, and for anyone wondering if they grazed the ground with the lime on it, there's the paddock that got the lime. They didn't leave too many patches. No head, did they? I'd call that a roaring success now. So there you go, lime on a paddock. If there's lime on the grass, the cows don't really care. So we'll use this as the kind of dry paddock then. That's a really dry headland there. This paddock is on top of the list for reseeding up on this farm. So if they muck up them a little bit for a couple of nights now, it'll be fine. Now the main reason that we're doing this, to be honest, if the yard was ready, we'd probably put them in. But that is working well there now. If it stays dry, maybe we won't be too eager to put them in at night time, even if the yard is ready. Smaller number of cows up here, 3 round feeders, you're able to do it. You couldn't do that on the other farm, you'd have to have 5 or 6 round feeders. But I think it's going to buy us out until we have the yard ready by the end of this week. I think at home, what we'll do is, I'd imagine the cows will go in tomorrow night at home, because we have the room over there and there's no set up at the yard. Just put them in, feed bales, and that's it. So I'd imagine we'll put them in at home tomorrow night, and they'll get the week out here on this farm, because there's still no rain in the forecast till Saturday as far as I can see. So that means with the whole week bought, we're going to get really, really good covers of 1,000 to 1,200 during the day, and they'll get silage bales topped up all the time in these 3 round feeders in this dry paddock. If this paddock gets too mucky, we'll move them to another dry one. So there you go, that's the plan. Let me know. We'll start playing. Look. She was jumping in a minute ago. Anyway, yeah, that's the plan for now. Working well. Let me know in the comments what you think. First night in on the farm at home here. Not because of weather or ground conditions, because we're short of grass and we want to stretch out what's left. So we'll graze by day now, either until the farm is fully closed, or if we want to speed up, if the weather changes, we can come back out day and night for a little while and get it all finished up within a few days. We'll stretch it while the weather is there and the ground conditions are good. They're getting red clover silage there. You can see the red clover leaves in it. A lot of dry matter in it. High in dry matter. So it works really well with the lush grass at the minute, but the protein content is good because the red clover leaves are in it. Lots of them in it. So I think it's probably the perfect feed to have them on at night time when they're on really fresh, soft green grass through the day. So it's working well. The second farm then, they're still getting bales in the feeders at night time at the minute, but the yard we hope will be finished for Thursday night, so they can go in then Thursday night. Now, first night in, I think the cows were happy enough to be in, to be honest. They all seemed happy. They had their silage, they were fairly full. You would notice they were back a little bit in milk, based on if they got a night of grass, because they have been on good grass up until now. But the plan will be to go in with a bit of beat there by the end of the week. So once the two farms are in, so probably Friday or that. Go in with a bit of beat and that'll help them out, leave the nuts where they are for the minute. The nut protein could do it going up as soon as the beet goes in, so we'll get an 18% load next, and then we'll probably go up to a 20 probably while they're on the beet before they're dried off. But there's only grass left on this side of the road now, so we're finished crossing the road for the year, which is always fantastic. And I think there's about 9 paddocks with grass on them here, and we'll average probably 2 days per paddock, which will be 18 days, and today is the 15th, so that will be until the 3rd of November. So if it stayed dry, we could still have cows out by day into November, which I don't think we've ever seen here before. Maybe 2019, their very first year, but nothing since. So, and if it comes wet then, if it comes wet then, we can just start letting them out at night time for a few nights to get it finished up. The weather doesn't look fantastic next week now, so yeah, if we were starting to see a few heavy days of rain, we'd leave them out for a few nights, get the place cleared up and get them in full time. It's a bit crazy here today. Today is Thursday, and we're aiming to get cows put in tonight here on the rented farm, and so everybody's here. Me, Sid, Paul, Ross. Their scrapers are to be fixed. There's cubicle bars. Paul and Sid are welding on cubicle bars that had broken off. Ross is tidying up rubbish and stuff around the ground. I'm going around with a tractor picking up rubbish and scraping out. It's all go. So I'd be very happy if we could have cows standing in the yard to see. Don't know if it happened, but that's the push that's on now at the minute. Everyone is flat out here. It's great.